We are taking calls from you. Without you, I'm a guy in a room with a mic talking to the wall, and it's sad. It's very sad. But with you guys here, this is actually a show. We take calls via Discord at davidpakman.com/Discord. And it's a great thing. It's really a great thing. Let's go next. Where are we going next? Let's go to Houston and speak to Jorge. Jorge, you're on the air.
Hi, David. I'm originally from Mexico, but
Yes.
I've lived here in Houston my whole life.
Okay.
And we have a very Trump-like president right now in Mexico, very narcissistic, authoritarian. His last sort of hint that he was going towards this very authoritarian style was he hinted that he liked Putin and he wasn't going to do any sanctions. So all this is was sort of he sort of came to popularity around Trump also. What do you think it is that people are so attracted to these narcissistic clown authoritarian types?
So I don't know that much about the authoritarian piece. I mean, I know about the sort of narcissism, and but it is at least ostensibly a left-leaning coalition in Mexico right now. I mean, I guess what you're telling me is that in practice it's authoritarian.
Yeah, so he's sort of taken over the military, and they're doing sort of his policing. He's trying to strengthen the military to sort of solidify his power. Another play he wanted was amend the Constitution so he could stay in power for another term. Thankfully, he didn't win the Congress, so he can't really do that.
Yeah.
But it's those sort of things.
And so you're wondering what it is about these authoritarians that is appealing to people.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's sort of basic crowd psychology to some degree, and the idea that some ideologies are easier to sell than others. And so, like, for example, populism. Populism is not a set of policies, as I've talked about before. Populism is really a rhetoric, and that so when we say left-wing populism or right-wing populism, we're not really talking about policy. Some people will say there's no such thing as right-wing populism. Right. Well, it's rhetoric. It's populist rhetoric from right-wingers or left-wingers. And populist rhetoric is very appealing to a lot of people. The devil is in what policies do you follow it up with? You see populist rhetoric from the left, and it's like Bernie policies. And then you see populist rhetoric from the right, and it's like, yeah, and the reason for all our problems is, brown people from Mexico. And so we've got to just stop them from coming in. So I think that the Trump types, Putin types, etc., there's a large population base that loves the strong man of sorts, and it's just appealing no matter what policy is behind it, and that's why it works so often.
Yeah, that makes sense. I found it very weird how Trump's policies are very different from sort of these liberal policies coming from Mexico. Yet
Yes.
They're the same type of person, the narcissist wanting to take control,
Yeah.
manipulating people, lying all the time. And it just seemed people were really attracted to that.
100%. And unfortunately, sometimes it can work for a long time. It doesn't obviously fail. I mean, listen, we're seeing it around the world. There's many places around the world where we're seeing exactly that, and it's horrifying.
Yeah, very scary. Thank you, David.
All right. Thank you for the call. Very much appreciate it. Let's go next to Dave from Brooklyn. Dave, you're on the air.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm a long-time listener. I think it's like the second time I've called, but I'm just calling because I wanted to get a little more perspective from you, because you've been talking a lot recently about the issues that we're facing as a left. And after listening to the State of the Union address last night, I feel like it was so all over the place with so little focus. It just kind of reinforced the message that you've been saying for a while, that as the left and progressive, we have no focus. And I was just wondering, if you were in charge, what are the 2, 3, maybe 4 things you would focus in on and get done to start bringing people back into our fold politically?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Politically.
Listen, is there a
Actually.
TV in the background? Because it's very tough to hear you over it.
No worries. I can disconnect and just listen to the answer.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah. So listen, if I think that yes, one of my critiques of the State of the Union was that it really was all over the place with like no transitions whatsoever. Joe Biden was going from we're going to control prices when businesses are charging too much without saying why to we're going to change taxes and we're stopping flights from Russia and we're going to beat cancer and all these. It was very much all over the place, which is okay. It's okay for a State of the Union to lay out a big vision that includes a lot of different things. If it were me right now saying the left has to be focused, I would try to narrow things a little bit and say, okay, we've got to pick one or two things on the economic justice front. So there's all these different things. There's minimum wage, totally changing the tax code, undoing tax loopholes, student loan debt, all these different things. I would say, like, let's pick two specific things on the economic side that we're going to do. Let's come up with a pro-business plan on the environment and really just lay out, again, one or two things. Here's the lowest hanging fruit on how we can both support business and help the environment, and whether it's a green energy focus or whatever, find like two things there. And then thirdly, make some kind of clear statement to some degree, I hope, about the state of democracy and simplify what really needs to be done to take the narrative back that from those on the right who are now saying elections just can't be trusted and anybody could have really won. You'd have no way of knowing. That's very dangerous and demoralizing. It also happens to be untrue. So I think that's what I would do. I would say, number one, let's get just a simple message out there to undo all of this stuff that's been opened up about the big lie and Trump really won and all that. We got to put a stop to that and get people really thinking clearly about what's actually going on. Number two, let's do something that feels good about the environment, but that also is very clearly not going to be quote, bad for business, the way many on the right say. Anything we do to deal with climate change is going to be terrible for business. No, it doesn't have to be that way. And then again, on something economic, just say, we're going to make these three changes to the tax code and we'll pay 10 grand of student debt. That's it. And then you have to restrict the conversation. And this will upset some people. Some people will say, no, but you're not including minimum wage in that. Or you didn't include this. I get it. You can't ever do anything. So why even pretend like you can? Let's really narrow the message and say, here's what we're going to get done. That would be my suggestion.